Hey, everybody. Welcome. Ho, ho, hello. It is the holiday season, so we could do nothing less than bring you the Star Wars holiday special. It exists, people. It is not just an urban myth. As much as you might think it is, as much as you might hope it was, it is real. It is a thing. The question is it worth watching? And can we continue to do what we do, which is talk about things that make us happy? Did this make us happy? Of all of the other questions, that's the important one. Does it make us happy? We will not be toxic here. There will be no hate happening in this episode. There may we'll use may as a may be some criticism. There'll be criticism, but it was not going to be toxic. This is going to be a fun time. Tomorrow is Krampusnacht. If you're watching this the day it goes live, so happy Krampusnacht. Happy whatever you celebrate. We are celebrating Life Day, and I'm going to bring in first Scott because he's closest to me. Hey, Scott.
Hello. I like how you said the least we could do. I was like, oh, I think we could do like this is
Yeah.
If you've seen this, it's
we're not talking the Lego one.
It makes The Last Jedi look good.
And next up, all the way from Florida, where it's even now probably warm. We're filming this ahead of time, but when it comes out in December, it's probably still gonna be warm down in Florida. Hey, Melanie.
Hi. Yeah, that was one reason I was like, I could try finding my Santa hat or wear a Christmas sweater. And I'm like, no, it's still 80 degrees. I don't want to die.
I've got my Krampus holiday sweater on.
Oh, yeah, no. But hopefully but it is cooler weather. It's much 80 degrees is awesome compared to 98. So we're happy. We're enjoying that fall weather down here.
I like how that's fall for you, but 80 is like the high up here. Like,
yeah. It's now brisk out. I wear longer sleeves now.
Ooh, longer, like yes.
Longer. Anyway, hi.
And enjoying the frigidness that is probably Alberta when this goes live. Cameron, how you doing?
Good. Happy Life Day.
Happy Life Day. Yes, as this goes live, we will be almost dead center between Life Day and Earther Christmas.
I was kind of hoping you were going to say Hanukkah or something. I would just be like, where do we go with that?
Festivus.
I would have to look at those actually. Happy Hanukkah to those who celebrate. I would have to look up the exact dates.
Yeah, they do kind of shift every year.
You shift, yeah.
So,
but yes, happy everything, including Life Day.
As long as you're happy and celebrating, that's all that matters, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So we've got ourselves a challenge today.
Very much so.
But okay, we'll start with the very basic question. At good or bad, did it make you happy?
Well, I'll say this: the Star Wars Holiday Special is not weird and bad. The 70s were weird and bad, especially on television. So yeah, it does. It makes me happy, and there's certain pieces of it and parts of it and moments in it that make me very happy. So yeah, how about you guys?
Melanie?
A lot of things now make sense. So I've always seen bits and pieces of this, but never in chronological order. And clearly there was good chunks I never saw. So this is the first time I sat down and watched the entire thing and watched the entire, and then I found out I didn't see some spots. So I had to go find the animated piece, and I had to find Jefferson's starship just for the heck of it, because I got to be completionist.
Yeah.
But no, there were parts that made me happy. There were parts that made me pleasantly surprised that I really enjoyed. But seeing the special itself, there was a lot where I'm like, to Cameron's point, was like, this is a part of television in the 70s where, my Lord, pacing people, speed it up just a little bit.
Yeah.
YouTube on that little thing where you can kind of change the speed.
Mm.
Much better.
Well,
That
the
would've saved
pacing
it.
was because they were given so much time, and they're like, "How do we fill this thing out?"
Yeah.
The Before I forget, in the cartoon, C-3PO's legs both match. So even though we know that's not the case,
And his eyes blink.
his
Which
eyes
is weird.
blink.
His
Actually,
eyes
it's funny
blink
because in the
on the
cartoon,
side.
you can see they're using the same like style for Luke and C-3PO because his head's the same. Like they're all. It's a stylistic choice. It was the 70s, so
Well,
they
it
probably
would,
had a like a key party to go to afterwards. So like, let's hurry and
yeah.
animate this thing. Go, yeah. Like,
I
fish
mean,
bowl, not key bowl. Yeah.
of all the things, that animated segment makes me the happiest. Like that is easily the best part of it. I wish it was a pilot for a long running Star Wars animated series starring the main four, and the droids. Like we got droids, we got Ewoks, but
Yep.
but
And those came almost directly, not directly from this, but I mean, so for those who have not seen this, we have to remember that not everybody watching this video will have seen the Star Wars Holiday Special. There is an animated segment of that, which is the first appearance of Boba Fett.
Yep.
And it was
Spoilers.
It was a very, very big deal. Very big deal when we saw it the first time.
It's
exactly.
also exactly fleshed out as what you would think he would be, which is the interesting thing. Like, I don't feel any other Star Wars character of that time, we'll say the original trilogy, comes fully just this is who they are. There's an arc.
Mhm.
But like
Mhm.
moment one, he's deceptive. Moment one, he's on his mission. He is Boba Fett, beginning to end.
Yeah.
I can see why people like him. The
Yeah.
other thing is just random. The animation style reminded me of Pirates of Dark Water, and I don't know why per se, but I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely
It's
definitely
different, or like
Nelvana.
an Eon Flux, maybe that weirdy kind of.
Han
Sure,
Solo
like-
was definitely Aeon Flux.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Canadian. It's that Canadian Nelvana style from
Yeah.
Quebec, and I think what was it? Cosmic Christmas was their Christmas special that they had done. George liked it, thought it looked like Mobius, and the rest is history. That's sort of where that came from. But how about had anybody seen this like in the 80s or obviously I wasn't alive when it aired the first time.
No.
But
I was like
Actually,
2.
I don't think any of
No,
us were actually,
1.
if we think about it, because
when
78, right?
yeah, when I was in high school though, I got a VHS of it, and I didn't believe it was real. A friend of mine lent me the VHS, but the pretense of it was like, George Lucas doesn't want you to see this. It was such a big secretive thing. And it was like, you got to watch it and then you got to give it back to me tomorrow because like, I think it was like an older brother. An older brother will beat me up if he knows I took it kind of thing. It was such a secretive thing that we passed around. It was kind of like viral before, videos were viral because they didn't really have an outlet. But it also comes from a time before a little before VHS, right? Like
for some of our audience, VHS is like large cassettes.
yeah.
And for some of our audience, cassettes was what a CD was, but it went okay.
Can I tell you though, my favorite thing about maybe one of my favorite things that have ever happened involving Star Wars ever.
Yes.
Is that there was a man that worked for my dad, and he was from Europe. He wasn't from America or Canada. But he had Super Channel and he had all these channels when we were kids. And he saw an ad saying that the Star Wars Holiday Special would be on. And he just knew Star Wars was Star Wars, but he had never seen it. He didn't know anything about it. So he sat down and watched the Star Wars Holiday Special thinking it was Star Wars. And then could not understand for the rest of his life on Earth why anyone liked Star Wars. And when he found out via my dad that I was a Star Wars fan, he's like, he likes that Star Wars where B. Arthur is serving in a cave with a tin can. And like, he had no clue. And he's passed away now. And I like to think that he went his whole life thinking that what he watched with Star Wars. And it makes me so happy. That's the thing that makes me the happiest.
It blows my mind because you always have the conversation of when did you get onto Star Wars? Was it prequel, sequel? I never crossed my mind that it was a holiday special. No, or like if someone comes to you was like it was Ewoks, you're like, okay. But
Yeah,
holiday
sometimes
special,
people
man,
see one of like the Ewok adventure movie, and that's their intro into Star Wars or something.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Right.
his
I love
intro
that time. Yeah.
and his exit from Star Wars was the holiday special, and which means he watched it live the first time. And I mean, to sit through this not knowing its impact, just to like sit down on TV and turn it on and watch it is like such a weird experience, I'm sure.
And
Oh
he
yeah.
didn't
I mean,
change
we
the
have to
channel.
remember. Yeah.
Change your
What else
channel.
were you going to watch? A different variety show?
Yeah. Donnie and Marie on the other channel.
Donnie and Marie. So we I think three of us. I don't think Melanie has watched the documentary of A Disturbance in the Forest yet.
No.
You need to watch that. It'll
No,
put
it
this
is-
whole
it is
thing in another perspective.
Much better than the actual thing. Like
Yeah.
It's great.
It's one of those.
It's great.
But
Yeah.
there's footage. I think it was footage in that, unless it was footage I found somewhere else.
No, it's in there.
Yeah, it is of the Donnie Marie show, and it's got the Osmond brothers dressed up as stormtroopers, singing and dancing.
And Chris
There was-
Christopherson plays Han Solo, and that again, that's the point that they make in this documentary, and the point that I kept saying was that that's what TV looked like in the 70s.
Mhm.
You know, like when they first made the Muppet Show, it was okay. It's a variety show. You have a guest on. There's songs. There's that's what TV looked like. And then when they came back with the Muppet Show later, it looked like The Office because that's what TV looked like when it came back, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there was they talk about the Paul Lynde Halloween special, which I also watched today because I'm a glutton for this stuff. And the Donnie and Marie or Wayne Newton live at SeaWorld, like all these things that come up in this documentary are dead on, that they get exactly right, that yes, this is a weird thing. It was probably made out of spite, or at least started out of spite.
Money.
Yeah, well, and George was in a meeting, and one of the executives kind of alluded to, oh, by the time Christmas rolls around, no one's going to care about Star Wars anymore. And again, when movies were in the theater in the 70s, they were in the theater and then they were gone, which was part of the reason why they had such a delay on the toys, because by the time you get toys made, the movie's gone, another movie's come out, nobody cares. There was no VHS, there was no DVD, there was no streaming. Movies didn't stick around the way Star Wars stuck around. And I don't think that disposable TV culture saw Star Wars fans coming.
No.
A fandom that's like, we want everything. We want to see everything. We want to own everything. We want toys for everything. I don't think they had any clue.
There was
was
nothing
coming.
like that
Nothing.
prior.
It's funny because like I think it's in the same documentary they talk about how they were selling like empty packages with a promise of a toy.
Sure.
And
the toys that made us and things like that.
yeah, that could have been where I saw it. The weird one was move forward to Mandalorian season 1, and the same thing occurs. They didn't see Grogu happening.
They wanted to keep Grogu a
I've
secret.
heard both, where it's like we want to keep them secret so it doesn't. But there was no toys until after. But like the Star Wars Holiday Special feels like that empty package promise, being like there will be more. Here's a little bit now, like
right, and
here's some
that
empty
was
calories to hold you over.
That's what George did. He's like, well, I'll show you. You think they're going to forget about this? I'll put them on this show. I'll put them on that show. I'll make a cookie jar. I'll do this. He really did everything he could to keep it in the zeitgeist.
Have you seen the Princess Leia on Saturday Night Live?
No,
of vaguely the same era. I couldn't tell you, how close it was, but she ends up in a beach movie,
like a
singing,
60s swinging
beach movie.
Okay,
and she's not wearing the bikini, but she ends up taking off her white robes to a swimsuit and sings a surf song.
That's crazy. I've definitely never seen that.
It
I would love to see
exists.
that.
It's out there, and
I feel like it'd be something you would remember.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and
It comes down to no one cared. Like I said, movies were as disposable as TV because they were just gone. So there
Yeah.
was no protecting the IP because you had to do whatever you could to get that IP back into people's minds to try and hold on because the next movie was gonna exist. And they knew that much at least.
and the rules weren't written. Like for Star Wars, they didn't know the parameters of, like, they just didn't know what they had on their hands
No.
at the time. And like you mentioned the toys, this would have been the first Christmas with toys. So the idea of like, oh, a holiday special, that's going to move toys at Christmas. And I'm sure by 1978, like I have figures with 1978 copyright Lucasfilm on them. So I'm sure by that year they were moving a lot of figures.
Question: Did Beatrice Arthur get a toy?
No,
And if-
not
yeah.
maybe since like
maybe I've
maybe in like
I've never seen one.
Black
And that's why I was
series.
like,
Or,
Lucas made a toy of like everything. So
the only toys they made of the holiday special were the prototypes of the Wookiee family. And then they never released. But I think in the new versions or maybe bootleg versions, you can get Chewbacca in like the red cloak from the end, and things like that. But I've fallen off the collecting.
Yeah, it's
side
only
of
a
things.
3D printed one. There was never an official one for that.
Yeah.
I think Boba Fett, the figure, or at least the promise of the figure, came out before Scott's on mute. I like this.
I think I lost
I think the Boba Fett was prior to Return coming out or anything like that. That was like after the Christmas special. We got a toy of Boba Fett before he appeared on screen.
Absolutely.
That's the one with the missile that choked kids.
Yeah, but even the recalled version where the missile didn't shoot definitely was out before Empire.
Yeah.
Because I have older friends that like played with their Boba Fett figure, waiting to see when Boba Fett was going to show up in these movies, kind of thing. And
boy,
yeah,
they disappointed.
Yeah,
he's in that movie for all of like 2 minutes.
And yeah, and some of it is footage that was already shot from Star Wars and stuff like that. It's sitting down and watching it again, it's way too long. Like it's way too long. There's too many segments. It's like, and they did say, like, Ken and Mitzi Welch or whatever, who were kind of in charge of it, or the overall of it, they did say that they had never edited before. And like, I've never seen a project that needed an editor more than this. Like, it's way too long. There's My Kingdom for some subtitles.
Yep.
But again, it was sort of not, people did not put subtitles on TV at the time. And it, like, that's kind of, it's 9 minutes and 11 seconds without any dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even then, the miming wasn't that great. You didn't know exactly what was going on. I wasn't.
The costumes weren't good enough to give us any indication of emotion. It was just.
Go ahead. Even at the end, where you have Chewbacca when they're doing the whole Life Day thing, and then it's all of a sudden, here's his almost a static image of his face until you realize he blinks. And you're like, oh. We're seeing this live, and then it cuts into that little bubble of quick, we're going to show all the footage that we can of Star Wars. And even then it's like, what is that what he's doing? He's rethinking what all the journey he had during Life Day. A lot of it is just, you need, as the viewer, have to infer what's going on. I'm going,
The Empire is never more evil than when they pull the head off the Bantha toy.
The Bantha.
And then he comes out and he's like, go clean your room.
It's so good.
It's like,
it's like, that's evil.
As if they're not evil enough. Here we go. It's like chores. Like, it's just like,
not the rest of the house, but they go up there and just purposely destroy the child.
Destroy his room. Like, it's the most like taking a lollipop from a kid I've seen in a very long, like, man, I will have the town and the oil beneath it. Oh, kid, I'll take your lollipop. Like, It
definitely
felt
feels like and I think they say this in the documentary too. It feels like an old person's image of what kids want to watch,
Mhm.
and like Harvey Korman
Yeah.
and B.
Whoa.
Arthur, and like this is like the old generation's stars, and
Wait,
like
you're telling me not all the kids are yearning for Art Carney?
yeah, exactly. Like it just falls into this strange moment in time where they just didn't know how to market this to children, and Bruce Valanche was a
Yeah.
writer on it, and I'm sure drugs and alcohol were a big factor in a lot of this
A little
stuff.
bit.
and and even just like Jefferson Starship, yeah, they're popular. They have a song
They
called
have-
Hyperdrive.
They
Yeah,
have
like
Starship in their name. Of
Yeah,
course,
it's
Star Wars.
Awesome.
throw 'em in, like, but and then the Grandpa Wookie with the Diane Carroll video,
Yeah.
and it just
Wookiee porn.
goes into
I
places
like how
where
Art Carney is like, you're gonna like this. I can't explain it because there's kids watching, but you're gonna like this. Like,
yeah,
you're gonna
And
love
then she
this.
was used like that just for her singing. And the thing is, if you look at her body of work, this is a woman that was nominated enough that she could have been a damn EGOT.
Even
You know,
by
it's
then,
like, yeah. So
By
even the
then.
song they gave her was crap.
like she was incredibly talented and well realized by the time this aired, let alone what she would further go on to
Yeah.
do. Like it's wasted potential. I like the whole "don't look for me, I'm in your subconscious" or whatever. I was like, what kind of line is that?
yeah.
Like-
I wonder what if I mean, obviously now when shows do a holiday special, it's kind of riffing on this, like the Lego one and the Guardians of the Galaxy one, and kind of when like shows that are very Star Wars aware, they refer to this, but it comes from a kind of a sarcastic place. I wonder if you'd ever see like an earnest effort to do something like this ever again, or did this ruin it?
No, the drugs are way too different nowadays.
Yeah, like imagine if they did like a 1 hour Dune 2 TV special set at Christmas time. Just that came out between the movies or something.
Yeah.
They're all around a single snowflake being like, this is the most precious water on the planet. Where are we going?
Right,
Like, I don't like there's just like a sandworm wearing a Santa hat comes out and
love it.
Santa's on top being like, ho ho ho.
Was there ever a Blues Brothers holiday special?
Oh.
I don't. I mean, I know
can
obviously
see that.
I mean,
but-
Fraggle Rock. Fraggle Rock
Yeah.
has a
gonna
great
say-
one from the original run.
Yeah.
The Back to the Rock has a great one between season 1 and 2, and and Charlie Brown and a lot of Mr. Magoo and the Muppets, and a lot of shows do a really great Christmas specials, and they squeeze them in there. But I don't know about like a movie franchise. And again, Guardians does it. They beat Fraggle Rock for the Emmy, so I hate them for that. But we got ours eventually. But the idea that they did it, but they did it as a tongue-in-cheek kind of joke.
Yeah, that's kind of James Gunn shtick though.
Yeah.
So not shocked. But like
I can't think of any others.
no, it now feels like when it like how even let's say pre-2000 you were expecting like a Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving. There's a holiday, there's usually a Halloween, but now it feels like any sort of that stuff. Like I think there's a Halloween for everything now because I feel like it's non-denomination enough that we can just do it. But when a holiday special does come along, like the Guardians of the Galaxy one, I think it's more of a special because it's so rare nowadays.
Well, also the more television is episodic, so you'll have Christmas or holiday episodes or a Halloween episode. The specials are more relegated to movies or those weird kind of things that don't have episodes where they can go, oh, well, we have 22, we have 12, we have whatever, we'll make one episode this. The special's an absolute, what do we do? So the outlier that would be, I was gonna say Doctor Who, but even then, that's towing a weird line these days because it used to be a holiday episode that would always air then.
Right.
And
Or
now
like
it's going
Downton Abbey
shifting
always did that.
back to special because they're don't know what the heck they're doing right now.
Like, also, when you think about production wise, most holiday episodes would be like a bottle episode because you're in a
Mhm.
one house, and usually, what is it? Someone gets stuck in the blizzard on their way, like, and we're all. It's almost exactly actually this. It's not stuck in a blizzard; it's an Empire blockade, but we're waiting on someone to get home, and
Right.
like, yeah.
Again, it's John Denver and the Muppets, right? Like
Mhm.
that it's that idea of like you got to get a Christmas special. I was just looking on my reading list on my browser, and I remember I tagged an article from November 19th, 2018 from USA Today, remembering that infamously bad Star Wars holiday special 40 years later. And it's actually kind of an oral history. It predates the documentary, but if you look that up, it's they really talked to the director that was brought in, not the one that left the project, but the one that was brought in. He had come off the Elvis comeback special, and he had done a lot of these kind of things. Again, they didn't really have the opportunity to watch Star Wars if they hadn't seen it already, because it was in the theaters and then it was gone and then it was back and then it was gone. Like, you couldn't just pop in a tape and watch it then. So he was really kind of making it work with what information he had. But I remember this article kind of unlocking that idea that this was kind of what it looked like. And I don't really remember exactly where it is in there, but at one point he does say that Carrie Fisher agreed only if she could sing. So she really wanted to get that song in there. So
Yeah.
God bless her.
everyone else gets to sing. I want to sing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Mark Hamill was the opposite. He said, "I'll do it, but I won't sing." And I don't know what his budget for eyeliner was, but
yeah, I was gonna say this is pre-car accident, isn't it?
Yeah.
He was wearing a lot of makeup in this, though.
Yeah.
Is that car accident? Was that really a impactful thing? Like, I've always heard like they added the Wampa attack in.
Yeah,
because the scarring was so bad.
But I think that might be a myth. I don't know if that's necessarily true.
I don't know.
When we get to the Empire episode, we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
I'd be I wanted every time I watch it, I just want to hear like Billy D. Williams be like, "Hello, ladies," and ho ho ho, like, you know, like, and like, why isn't he being like what, like the ladies' man from the 1990s SNL being like, "Welcome to my abode. It is Christmas."
We should have got one between each movie. That's what they should have done.
Anything feels like
should have doubled down on it.
It's Billy D. Williams.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Just it's now all I'm picturing is him in Batman Returns. I think he's in Returns because the Halloween or the Christmas one. I just need him to be like, "Merry Christmas, ladies." Like, just like, "I'm the smoothest Santa Claus in this galaxy." You're laughing because you're picturing it, and that's the
I'm
like, you can the one bit of Star Wars that might actually be up until this point, because Hoth hadn't happened yet, be Christmas, and he's not even there.
Yeah, Billy D. Williams is criminally underused in the trilogy, like
and the sequels.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Actually, I was really. I mean, we'll get into it when we get to
9,
episode 8. I thought for sure that's who Maz was going to send them to at Canto Bright.
Yeah.
I thought, oh my God, Lando's coming. He's going to have the red flower on. It's going to be amazing. And then it wasn't Lando. I was so disappointed.
They make female Jedis now. Awesome.
Yeah.
He's just
Lando. Cool.
No, he's well used in the latest Lego Rebuild a Galaxy.
Oh, good.
Lando. It's Billy D. So I mean, it's
good.
So what do we have here? Is that a Christmas present for Lando?
Let's talk about some of these segments in this
yes,
this holiday special. this variety show, this whatever this was, and we've come up a couple times. Jefferson Starship.
They're just
That
trying-
honestly, I mean, why was that here first? But the answer is because it's Jefferson Starship, and they had a song called Hyperdrive. But that could be a music video. That was a very well produced
that what
segment.
And I think, you know, on the schoolyard the next day, that was one of the segments kids probably talked about a lot because they were a popular band. That the first director, the one that left the project, came from music videos and rock and roll videos, and he was like a USC guy with Lucas, and he was very rock and roll. So I think that's one segment that has some legitimacy to it. Does it belong in this sort of thing? Is it weird that we're having a musical break in something Star Wars? It's weird now for sure, but yeah, I think it's one of the, if it were just going happy, not happy, that's a happy.
Yeah, it's a happy.
The song is fine. Like, honestly, the amount of bloom in it foreshadowed J.J. Abrams taking over Star Wars. It was really good. I have no, yeah. It is maybe one of the high notes, actually, and it's not really Star Wars. And that might be one of the downer notes. It's not really Star Wars.
And then there was the circus troupe at the beginning.
That was just
to go to the
Bob
other
Mackie
end of
can
the
show
spectrum.
off his designs, his costume designs.
Very Bob Mackie.
Yeah.
Again, it's probably something that a certain segment of the people watching were like, oh, I didn't get that, but I kind of like that circus stuff. You know, like I could see people being into that. Now, I will say this: I love these live readings that Dynasty Typewriter's doing, and they're on YouTube. They're free on YouTube. They did a live reading of the holiday special. They bring out performers in very good recreations of those costumes and do a whole circus act as like a little musical break in the thing. It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
I feel like it's
Nice.
In this sells the Star Wars Holiday Variety Hour. Like it's that, like, if you didn't know, and it starts with it too. It's like fairly, like, it's one of the first like acts in the thing. They're like, okay, buckle up. This is what you're in for. like it's, and again, you're saying TV at the time. They're like, yeah, it's 100% like just, like Sharon Bono Variety Hour, right?
The Muppets had routines like that.
Absolutely.
But it works for the Muppets, in my opinion.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Like, I think the Muppets, like, every time they come back, I actually find them fairly relevant, like Cameron was saying. But like, to start off being exactly that, and it just suits. There's so many Muppets. There's so much. I need a Muppet Star Wars Holiday Christmas Special. Is what I just discovered.
I'm in. I think the Jefferson Starship, this segment so far, that two segments, they're happy, but they're still too long.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every single one of these segments, if it was half the length, it would be better.
If you get with that in mind, and I'll start with Mel. If you had to ditch one segment, let's just say edited and pasting are the words we're using here, and like it's too long. If you had to remove one and say it's probably wouldn't, it could still work without. Actually, in theory, this whole thing would work without any of them. But hence the Variety Hour. But I think the circus acrobatics might be the one that just feels like we could, like, all the other ones feel like they tie in somehow. That one just feels random.
Honestly, I think I get that. For me, it's just there's so much pacing that just could be just tightened up all over the place. I don't mind. Okay, so personally, I don't mind the circus piece. I mean, every segment just went long. Yeah. Because they ended up recalling it in Skeleton Crew. And they did it so well in Skeleton Crew.
That was awesome.
That they they literally found the sketches, got the sketches from Bob Mackie, went crazy remaking every costume, going back and doing the choreography and redoing everything. So I'm like, that's amazing. So I don't want to cut. I don't want to cut it
Mhm.
from the holiday special because it ends up showing off that this was a little stupid thing that Neil gets to watch at some point. So I kind of dug that.
I think I forgot that part even existed. And now I have to go back and watch Skeleton Crew again.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
horror,
that was
horror.
one piece where I'm like, wait a
Okay.
minute, that I know this. Wait a minute, and then finding out that what all they did in order to get that back. I'm like, did they go back and redo it? You know, then it cleaned it up. They're like, no, we redid it from scratch. And I'm like, bravo, you spent more time recreating it than these people who probably actually did it. Now that I mean, cutting stuff out. I mean, it's tightening up.
Yeah.
It's to me, it's the same thing as bless Spike Lee makes amazing movies, but I mean, they could be edited a good 20 minutes off and just tightened up for me. It's that. It's just it's too long. Just and now it's perfect. It's like classic Who. Just take 15 minutes off everywhere. Oh, look, it's more cohesive.
I'd
Yeah,
say the cooking segment, the whip stir,
whip stir, whip.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I've
Like-
got another arm.
Yeah, and it's
Yep,
and
I need
it's
another
very like it's supposed to be like a Julia Childs kind of reference.
Yeah.
It's very referential and it doesn't fit and it's
We all-
filler.
We all need a cooking segment. How do we do it? Like we need a music segment. How do we do it?
As much as I'd love to cut Grandpa Wookie watching porn in the living room, I think I would cut the cooking segment.
Even Harvey Korman being a robot. I mean, there's just so much Harvey. They're like, we got. He'll do anything we want for. He realizes how sad and desperate we are. Even a little robot thing where he's like his finger gets stuck and the robot. Even that was like, seriously.
Yeah.
But I love this cooking segment. I thought that was one of the most fun things. But then I'm also a big fan of Harvey Korman.
Okay.
He is a brilliant performer, a brilliant comedian, and so I really did enjoy that segment. It's classic him.
Yes.
But I can certainly see your perspective of, but why?
And it's too long.
And it's too long.
It's just,
Like everything else.
Long.
Like if they had just cut to the TV and it's like, oh, that's hilarious. That's Harvey Korman on this cooking show, and then moved on.
Yeah.
Like a Family Guy style cutaway.
Yeah.
But it was the whole sketch.
It took a while for the joke to land of the third arm and the fourth arm.
Yes.
It's like we took forever to get to that punchline.
Yeah.
The one that got me was when they like sit the Imperial officer down in front of like they're like, hey, watch this. And you're like, isn't he at work? Isn't the guy like tearing your house apart, being all like, get it done. But you can sit and watch. I think it's the Boba Fett cartoon at that point. And he's like, did you like that? And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
If I had to cut something, it would probably be the Wookiee porn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't like the sketch. I didn't like the song particularly. Performance was of course brilliant and everything, but no, if I had to cut something, I think that's what I would cut on every possible level.
Also, might I note that was considered family friendly in the 70s.
True.
Yeah, I guess maybe it went over everybody's heads or just it was so weird and different. This idea of VR probably.
We didn't have the 80s censorship movement yet.
Yeah, we were
a lot.
Like,
you could get away with a lot
really
at that era. That was leading into a lot of the censorship movement that would come in the 80s.
And the version I saw had all the ads cut, but there was like they were introducing Marlboro cigarettes for kids back then and stuff like that. Like, who knows? The 70s were weird, man.
I think I had one.
Like how Mel's
ads
like,
at the very end.
oh, please no.
Yeah. I think the only ads that were in the version I saw, which I think is probably the same one as you, it was just a couple of the toys near the end. They kept a couple of Star Wars toys commercials.
The version I had on VHS, all the commercials were for GM.
That was mine.
Yeah, it was like brought to you by GM, and so and it was like I'm Dave, I work at the factory, and like that. Yeah, that was kind of the GM sponsored the whole night of TV.
I'm Dave. I work at the factory, and when I get home, I give my kids Marlboros cigarettes for kids. Nothing says the 70s like Marlboro. Like, it'll put hair in your chest. like who knows?
Times were weird. Times
Yeah.
were weird.
The other segments that I wish that they just shot different was both Mark Hamill's and Carrie's first one, because with Anthony Daniels, because it really felt like these are actors that are used to film. They're not used to a like TV, just having a one camera, because it was just one camera. It felt very much to me like it reminded me of when you're auditioning and you have to tape yourself because it's only you in the room. And that's kind of how I felt, that vibe of it, of where they didn't quite know where their eye line was. They weren't really at least Mark made sure to kind of look at the camera, because I think he realized, yeah, I am speaking to the camera. But even Fisher was not quite sure if she was talking to the camera or not, even though so it almost felt like the directing part of that kind of went and then also sometimes with Fisher, it was like, I don't know if she was looking at cue cards or what she was going, or she was thinking maybe she's in a grander space at other parts, where that's why you kind of get that, was she drugged up, blah 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 blah. But I think it was they literally didn't know where their eye lines were, and they weren't being, they needed more direction than being on a variety show that, okay, this is more vaudeville, play to the audience. Am I really?
Yeah, I think you nailed it, that they didn't really know what they were doing. Like, they didn't really have a direction. They didn't really have someone leading the charge.
I don't know that even the directors knew what was going on.
It felt so like they're being self-taped. You're like, okay, I'm gonna self-tape my audition, see what happens.
To be fair, she does have one of my favorite lines in the whole thing, is when she turns to C-3PO and goes, yeah, I got that. Like it's like no, C-3PO is constantly like translating, and you can almost see she's like, yeah, I know this. Like, okay, cool, I got you. Good, you got your lines in my turn. Like it's just like
now the B. Arthur segment, again, too long. Maybe a weird tone to it. Like they mentioned in that documentary, that the coolest thing about the Star Wars Cantina when we saw the first movie was that it was this dangerous place full of villainous, dangerous people. Whereas B. Arthur's segment, it's like a neighborhood pub and everyone's friends and everyone's having a good time. You know, she tries to kick them all out and they won't go, and she gives them another round and sings.
It was somewhere between Cheers and Star Trek Lower Decks, neither of which existed at the time.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. It didn't quite have that Star Wars feel. That said, it was sort of that part of Star Wars that I was craving my entire childhood and didn't really get until Andor came around, where it's Star Wars on a ground level, where you're under the thumb of the Empire. That idea where they just say, you know, the Empire shut us down, everyone has to go, and like it in 2025, if you were making this now for the first time, that segment probably would have been really awesome. You know, that could have been like an ice raid at the Star Wars.
The allegory hits a little harder in 2025. So.
Right, like they really could have made that something amazing. And again, it was the seeds of it, and I almost wonder if as people have taken Star Wars on and done their kind of version of it going forward, even like Troops and some of the fan films, I wonder if little things like this of like, oh yeah, what was it like to run a business in this imperial state? I don't know. Maybe I'm giving it too much credit.
Yeah, but the HUD has doubled the stormtrooper budget, and now they're going door to door trying to find any form of resistance. And
and even like Book of Boba Fett, when they're in that little casino, it kind of has that same, this could be the same thing, but it's so not the same thing.
Yeah.
I find Star Wars is, again, like I when you peel it back and have it overlay on what, like, our world in a weird way, because Life Day is obviously a holiday party of some sorts. In this case, it's just being translated into Star Wars. It's always fascinating what details of like the holiday they say are important enough that they need to translate it. food, obvious, but like
being together.
music, a little like people coming over, all that stuff. And then the stuff of the holiday, they're like, I know we don't need that. And that's we don't need that, doesn't have to be a part of this. And in any medium, that's or any TV shows, I find that fascinating. And that's one thing this does very well is be like, hey, it's not Life Day unless, you know, or it's not holiday unless there's a circus troupe being broadcasted onto a table. Like, yeah, I'm like, oh,
Well,
okay.
you do sort of get that feeling that like the same way we put on the Charlie Brown Christmas every Christmas, whether we watch it or not, it just has that feeling. You kind of feel like Lumpy is putting on his perennial favorite. Like it does kind of have that holiday feel. And I do now watch it every Christmas, or at least every November leading up to Christmas. I do put on this holiday special. I don't always pay attention to it. Like it's sometimes just on while we're making cookies or whatever, but it's not so bad that you can't appreciate parts.
I actually heard Disney's going to make people watch it once a year on Disney Plus to show them that what they've been doing with Star Wars isn't so bad.
I would love them to put a high-res version of this on Disney Plus. I hope they would go in there.
That would work. I don't know. The Millennium Falcon scenes, were actually really well shot. Like when you're watching them in really low definition, those could be film shots.
And Harrison Ford is the only person in this that comes to the table 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's Harrison Ford playing Han Solo.
But to me, the set was failing him because just seeing the back of it, and I'm like, and I think that was because of his scenes. He's used to being in the cockpit. He's used to filming like this, camera in front. I'm playing to it. So for him to be like, okay, Chewie's over here co-piloting, he was like, all right, I can slip this right on, and we're good to go. I think that's why it really worked. Even though look in the back, you're like, oh, they production value really tried.
You
guys were really trying, and the angles and everything. And it's dark, so okay, it works because
I'm saying upscale it,
hell out of it.
Upscale it, but then get your computers out and digitize that cockpit and
special edition
make the set at the end a beautiful Kashyyyk temple and give me a better establishing shot of the treehouse. And why not
add the subtitles?
Subtitles.
The most Han Solo thing in that the whole thing was the credits, because he's like, and then like, and Harrison Ford, and he looks up, yeah, okay, whatever, and goes back at it like you just. And I was like, that's Han Solo. It's don't tell me the odds.
One thing that I noticed, and even my husband was kind of in this. Oh, wait, I think you're right. Was this holiday special put into canon? Well, a lot of things, but the Kashyyyk tree houses. Because what we saw in episode 3,
because they're dropping.
When we finally see Kashyyyk. That's their houses. I'm like, wait a minute. This was ground zero for that, of where I've played in Battlefront and loved the heck out of that whole area.
Even prior to this, I think they were part of the original Ralph McQuarrie package.
Okay.
I think when Ralph McQuarrie did artwork for like This Is Star Wars, that shot of the treehouse was part of it. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's straight Ralph McQuarrie, and they did have access to those when doing this.
Yeah, because they did mention that I saw his name in the credits about some parts of the design and whatnot. So
and I don't think he would commission new stuff, especially with how much didn't make the first film that was made. That totally makes sense to me. That this was someone on set deck or some director or whatever working on this, saw that and went, ooh, I love that look. I want that in here. Yeah.
And I think they say in that documentary too, when he passed away, when Ralph McQuarrie passed away, they were going through his stuff, and that's where they found the kind of original 5-page treatment of this special. And that's kind of the first evidence that that this could have come originally from the brain of George Lucas. Like that at least George wrote a little bit of an outline. There's no evidence that he wrote that, but it seems to make sense that he wrote it. And and that is where you get the Wookiee family segment.
So
he didn't say not to subtitle it though.
They actually, what I understand is they cut it out of the original script. So when they're flying to go get the princess, and instead of fighting the like with the visor down and like learning whatever, they were going to actually watch this. And they wanted to put a 2-hour movie inside their movie, and then they were going to come back out, and it was just going to add a lot of context of what's going on.
Definitely in the
when
bigger...
they get to the get pulled in by the tractor beam in Star Wars Episode 4, they want to get off the ship. They're like, "Oh God, we just watched the holiday special. Get us off." Like,
I do definitely believe
detention area.
I mean, obviously, it's the smartassery has I do believe that obviously Lucas wanted the Wookiees in the original, like the big script that he couldn't produce. He did want the Wookiee planet, which eventually became the Ewoks, but and he did want to establish that the Wookiees were kind of technologically coherent and all that kind of stuff, or capable. But yeah, you're right. Like if they had worked in the idea that Chewbacca had a family or something in that, or if there was some indication
and they all
to
know
that.
now.
What's that?
Well, they're calling Skywalker, and they're calling Leia, and they're calling, being like, "Oh, hey, it's nice to meet you. Like, oh, I haven't heard from you all day, or like in a little while. What's going on?" And you're like, how did this even come about? Like, Chewie is like, "Cool, we took down the Empire. Come meet my family." Like it's just like,
I guess Wookiees live. Jess would probably know this. She's not on this episode, but Wookiees live, what, 200, 500 years? Like Chewbacca's 200, but he doesn't seem old. So maybe they live 1,000 years. I don't know how long.
Yoda. Well, it's like when we found out Grogu was 50, and you're like, oh, it's just a kid in their
Right. For Chewbacca to like go off and have adventures with Han Solo for 30, 40 years might not be that big a deal, maybe
it's like it's his wild weekend phase.
Right. Yeah. Like it's sort of like dad works out of town.
Yeah, because they make that joke in Solo at one point. He says something about his age, and I don't know if
you look great.
Chewie growls something about that, and then I know Han's like, "What? You're that old? You don't look like that." And
yeah.
I don't think he says a number though. I can't remember.
Yeah, he's like 200. You look great. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah, you're right. But but that was the one thing. Like when I watched it in high school, I was like, "There's no way Chewbacca's jumping around the galaxy with Han Solo. He doesn't have to run home to his family." There was something in that original treatment where they keep trying to tie in this thing about Chewie not getting a medal in the medal ceremony. Mm-hmm. And they say something about like Han's gift to him at the end of Star Wars was, "We'll take you back to see your family and celebrate Life Day." Like that's how they originally tried to tie that in. But I don't know. That doesn't really come across in this special.
It just says in Episode 4 they saw Chewie more like the dog than like a person. Like
they certainly were not concerned with any ancillary or whatever characters other than the white humans.
So that's another thing that this did well, is it brought some, for lack of a better term, humanity to Chewbacca.
Yeah.
And B. Arthur.
Oh, they did. I don't like the song that they gave her, because it was weird. Because at some moments it's like, oh look, here's a quick little bump from the cantina that we redid, and now she's singing a cappella. And even then, she's like, it's a 1, 2, 3. It's a 4/4 song, and she's singing like on not the first beat, but the second is when she kicks in, and I'm like, this is disjointed. What?
It was
what
something
are they doing to her?
Those were the days, my friend. Kind of like, but you're right. It was offbeat. It was weird.
The Starship song is so good because everything else is just Jefferson Starship is film to those songs being TV. Like it's just like it's
and the Han Solo segment is Star Wars, and the Boba Fett cartoon is animated
That
Star
reminded me
Wars.
of Heavy Metal
Yeah.
as well.
Love that.
Like that, like
Yeah, Heavy Metal. Yeah, there. Well, I think Nelvana was involved in that for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
'cause
like
that's Canadian.
it is probably the highlight of it. Not just because Boba Fett, but also it's fairly well done.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very artistic and in choice, but it comes across. It feels Star Wars. It introduces a lot. It carries over. It
pace is
shadows
moving.
moving forward that we at that time wouldn't have known, and
Mhm.
all this stuff. Like it's probably the best of the whole thing.
Mhm. I agree. I mean, it was to me, it had a like a good comic or animation, a cartoon, or what have you. It knew its plot. It had the characters fully realized. It knew where it was going to go. They even and I was impressed by the frame rate of the animation because it showed even the characters because they're always moving. They're also showing a lot of micro expressions, and if they didn't have dialogue, and the dialogue there was a lot of it, so it's almost like one of those scripts where it's a thick script, but they're like, yeah, it's not a page a minute. We're going fast. It's like, oh, that it just had
Yeah.
that. It had that feeling. I don't know if it was because it was just up against something that desperately needed to pick up the pace that I had a
Yeah.
problem. So I'm thinking I had maybe I had a little whiplash going, oh, this is just normal speed, but I really liked it, and
Yeah.
knowing that this was the first time we actually see Boba Fett, I'm like, it was like to me that's Boba Fett dialed in. This is 2025, and I'm looking at it going, that's perfect. That's what I wanted a book of Boba Fett of.
Yeah.
Give me that.
Mm.
What is this? Okay. No.
This is definitely one of the two reasons why Boba Fett was such a popular character. Like when we were in high school and he was easily the most popular character from Star Wars, and you kind of look at the movies and go, well, he's barely in it. He just kind of comes out and then he kind of dies, and it's just you kind of scratch your head on why he's so popular. It's this, and it's the figure being a special order, and the lore of it's a dangerous figure. So between those two things, I think this had a big hand in it. Again, I'd love to see more of this cartoon. Like this
Mhm.
style. Han Solo looked rad with his cool long nose, and Luke looked rad, and it was great hearing the original cast voices in there. And it is the one segment that you can find on Disney Plus in pretty good resolution. It's called The Faithful Wookiee, and it's on Disney Plus.
It's
By
because
itself.
Disney knows. Disney
What's
knows.
that?
Disney knows.
Yeah,
Like,
Disney
they
knows.
know
That's
this is
the
the
takeaway.
thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's funny because it's almost longer than if you add up all of the Boba Fett scenes in the original trilogy. Like it's
Yeah.
like, and he's in it for like 80% of it. Like it's every once in a while they cut away from him, but like you have R2D2 being all like, nah, he's a snake in the grass. Don't trust him.
Mhm.
Like there's so much. Like it's such a high and a lot of trying to be positive here.
Happy.
Mediums.
It's the
Middle
happiest
mediums.
of all the happy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and it's
No, I will admit one part that did make me not so happy and very sad was the very beginning where they're introducing all of the actors and the characters, including Peter Mayhew as Chewbacca, Anthony Daniels as C-3PO, and R2-D2 as R2-D2.
R2D2.
Yeah.
Not Kenny Baker.
What the hell? His
Kenny
name's
Baker.
Kenny Baker.
Yeah. I noticed that as well. I was like,
Because
R2D2
somebody was in there
Yeah.
to move it.
Maybe
Yeah.
it wasn't Kenny Baker though. I don't know. I've never looked that
Yeah.
up.
Maybe. Okay.
Yeah, man.
That's a good
Maybe.
point though.
But that made me
They could have said C-3PO as C-3PO and Kenny Baker and
And
R2D2 as
Chewie,
R2D2.
because
So
he's
now
yeah.
But yeah, now I know. Now I have to know because now Cameron, you gave me the seed of doubt of maybe Kenny Baker
It was
wasn't in
Warwick
there.
Davis, actually. It was
Is
the
it-
first
did you-
time they worked together.
Did you look it up?
No.
Oh.
Scott just being Scott. I'm just
We're getting
no.
smart assed all over the place.
No.
If there was
You
ever
think I'd
an
look
episode
anything
to
up?
do it,
Where am
this is
I?
the one.
What day is it?
Sir, have we met?
Unbelievable.
And
Yeah.
on that note,
How did I even get here? This isn't the doctor's office.
I will say there was parts in watching it again today with my husband. it was, I think it was after Itchy's little VR dream. It ended, and my husband just goes, "It's still better than the Acolyte," and I'm like, "Dude, stop it!"
Oh,
And that's the thing is, plus my husband likes everything Star Wars, and he genuinely is somebody that was like, he had high hopes for that, but just it got quiet, and he was like, "Bam!" I'm like, seriously, how dare you?
I like.
Well, sometimes the truth has to be spoken. So,
and with that, I think we've covered everything.
That was amazing.
So, that was like, there's your timing. That's a good place to wind this up. So
you just wound up a lot of Star Wars people. Why not this?
Yeah.
Such high hopes for it.
No, this has been a lot of fun, and I'm glad we did this. You know, we when I came into doing this series, I said, you know, I want to do all of the Star Wars, just the films, but I want to do the holiday special for December.
Yeah,
because it is such a unique and fascinating thing, and it is, whether they achieved it or not, I think they set out to make something that was happy, that was joyful, and I think they succeeded in that. Even in the bad parts, you know, it was still something that had that joyful attitude.
Outside the Acolyte, I do believe they try to make things for right reasons. So.
Yeah.
Well,
fair.
and I agree, Dave. I think if he made this out of spite to say, or at least greenlit this and got the ball rolling on it out of spite to say, no, Star Wars is not going to leave people's hearts and minds by Christmas, and throwing them on Donnie and Marie and throwing them in the Muppet Show and Saturday Night Live and the Richard Pryor Show, and just saying Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars wherever they can. If George did that to keep it in the hearts and minds, I think he proved that it worked. That here we are, you know, 45, almost 50 years later, we're still talking about this. We're still watching it. It still kind of brings joy in a certain way. It kept it was this like Star Wars fandom was always going to be kind of this collector-y sort of thing where there was this cachet in knowing certain things or owning some toy that no one else had, or there was always this mystique to it anyway. And the fact that this exists in a way where you weren't allowed to watch it and you had to kind of get it and acquire it the way you collect knowledge, and I just think there's something so Star Wars about it, considering it's so not Star Wars in every other way.
Yeah.
There's something Star Wars about the experience of it, regardless of how it fits canonically.
I think a lot of fandoms don't get as lucky as Star Wars has when it comes to something like this. Like, if this is the low, or considered one of the lows of Star Wars, we get off pretty well.
This is the low.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I recently heard there was a TV show called The Acolyte that was pretty low,
which is great. And we'll
actually, like it's. I'm riffing on Melanie's take here, but
that was my husband's. How dare him?
Yeah, how dare you lump us together? I realized after, and I was like, wait a minute, I should separate those two. But no, like it's legitimately, it's worth the watch. Honestly, it's like we've had highs and lows this whole conversation, but it is worth the watch. It is celebrating Star Wars, and it's interesting to see the time capsule of, hey, we don't know what Star Wars really is yet. Let's try.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it, I think here on a different one. It was like, I'll never know a world before Star Wars. It just isn't. I was never born before Star Wars. I just will never know a world. And so to be able to see something like this and see what kind of the world the mainstream saw what Star Wars could be, it's fascinating. It's a time capsule that way. Like, it really is. But by Empire Strikes Back, I think Star Wars is really like starting to really take hold. By the end of Empire Strikes Back, and Vader says his famous line, I think that like that line, I think is the moment that Star Wars is Star Wars. So anything before that is fascinating.
And we'll talk more about that next month, because next month, of course, we will be back into the films and we'll be in with Empire Strikes Back.
And how lucky are we that Empire was as good as it was?
Yeah.
Because like this, like you say, this could have been a franchise killer. Someone could have looked at this and said, why are we doing this second movie if this is the direction it's all going? Like you say, not a lot of franchises would survive something like this. And Star Wars not only survived, it flourished immediately after. We're very lucky. Yeah.
So
although,
go ahead.
Sorry, go. No, I'm done.
I was going to say we're running on time here.
We hit 13 minutes yet?
Almost. We will by the time we have said goodbye.
My work here is done.
Well, before you go, Scott, tell us something that's making you happy quickly and where we can find you.
Well, what made me happy is Art Carney just dropped off this video for me to put in my chair. Breakfast Scotch National is what I've been is how I see the world. Myself and a couple of friends of ours try to make sense of a really crazy place in a galaxy much, 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 much closer, not so far away. Also, I'm doing a podcast actually with the four of you, three of you actually. Mel came in and said her bits. I feel sorry. We disagreed on that film, but I was so happy to watch it. Horses on Film, fantastic. I won't be probably the only one to mention it. I'm actually enjoying a lot of this, and with the holidays, just a blast. Happy to be a part of this. Happy that I get to watch something like this and be like, here's my thoughts, and happy that people listen to me. Sometimes I'm just talking to nothingness, and I'm happy that way. But every once in a while, someone else gets to hear my rambling thoughts. And thank you, everyone, for watching and supporting us and on this journey. I feel like really, really lucky to be on it. So, yeah.
Excellent. And Melanie, where can we find you?
You can find me at Pieces of Melee. We're starting to do more mosaics lately, and we're going to be selling all that kind of fun stuff and getting people into art materials and teaching classes and stuff like that. With stained glass and all that kind of fun stuff. One thing, because I know we always talk about one thing that makes me happy. By the time you've seen this, and kind of tying back to this episode, I know on November 17th, because this is already passed, but not for me yet. That's when I go to Disney's Hollywood Studios, because we celebrate Life Day and we get to watch some of the other people put their little tunics on. And that's one neat thing about the holiday special that keeps going, is people ended up grabbing Life Day and keep celebrating it in your own way. And you can do it by going to Disney and having fun and buying their robes. Funny enough. They've learned that they can monetize it too. But yeah, you can always just put on a burgundy robe and walk around the studios. It's kind of cool. Drink your blue milk.
There you go. And of course,
I'm also on Earth Station.
Yes.
Where
I occasionally pop in too, so we have to remember to mention that.
Talking Doctor Who on Earth Station, who we are trying to. We're the Doctor Who podcast right now. We're doing a lot of Big Finish and Classic Who. We will be dropping down to one episode a month. I think not till like next year though, but I'm not sure. Maybe that means there's more time for me to do other Doctor Who things. Stay tuned.
Ooh, I love that. And Cameron, where can we find you, and what's something making you happy?
Well, that makes me happy. What makes Mel happy makes me happy that people are still celebrating Life Day at Disney. I think I got to put that on my bucket list of things to do. That sounds
You need
awesome.
to go.
I have one thing that will make Mel happy. Kenny Baker was not involved in the special. The droid was performed entirely by Radio Control Unit, operated by Mick Garris, who was Lucas's receptionist. So yes, so he was not missed in the credits. He just wasn't involved because they didn't have the
That makes me
body
happy.
and it was only
Is that better or worse?
Well, I mean, he
Imagine not
probably
being
is okay to not be involved in it.
Yeah.
he got to be in all the other stuff. What makes me happy right now is definitely right now pretty focused on Horses on Film, which is our other little podcast about the top 100 Westerns. What makes me happy is that we've aired and episodes are airing, and we're not living in a vacuum anymore, and people are actually watching, and I'm getting lots of nice comments, and it's interesting because I think some people that wouldn't normally be watching Westerns are like starting to check it out, and I hope because we have it's every 2 weeks, it's every second Monday. I hope that kind of gives people time to like look up the next movie and watch it, or at least research it or whatever, just so that they're kind of along on this journey with us. So that's very fun. So yeah, you can find me on all the, like, it's Horses on Film at Letterboxd and Spotify, Apple Podcasts. It's at Horses on Film on YouTube, Horses on Film podcast on Instagram. So anyway, yeah, we're just kind of trying to get it out and everywhere. And we actually have horsesonfilm.com too, which thank you, Scott, for putting that together. And it's beautiful. It looks great. So I'm just really excited about that. And I hope you guys are having fun along with me.
Definitely. As for me, I'm always happy to be here. This show makes me happy. You guys make me happy. You at home make me happy. I can't thank you all enough for joining us on all of the shows that we do, all the four of us combined, but here especially on Happiness Patrol. You can find me on Sundays on Spill the Geek Tea at Spill the Geek Tea 1 on first Thursday of every month, right here on Happiness Patrol, where you're probably watching this at Happiness Patrol Show. Tuesdays, Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, talking about Doctor Who, and in between all of that, the rathole.ca. That's the rathole DOTCA, because YouTube doesn't like URLs in their URLs. And of course, you can find me every other Monday, like Scott and Cameron, on Horses on Film, talking about Westerns. I'm loving it. Even the stuff I'm not loving, I'm loving. So that says something there. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Next month we've got Empire Strikes Back to the films. But until then, enjoy your holidays, whatever you celebrate. Enjoy. Put this on in the background somewhere. Look it up. You can find it. It exists in various places. Find it, watch it, and enjoy it for what it is. And in this season, be kinder than usual. This show is all about being happy. We're going into a season where happiness is a challenge sometimes for some people. So be happy for yourself, for what you have, and be kind to others, because you never know what situation they're in. With that being said, we'll put this up. We will kazoo ourselves away, because kazoos make me happy. Please don't sue us, Disney.